What's up, guys? Daniel here. Another video. This is actually my 2019 year-end review of myself. This video is mostly for me in the future, or if you just want to learn about me and learn what I've done and what I'd like to do. Stay tuned because I'm going to go through. I've listed out some of my accomplishments from last year and some goals for this year. I'm just going to run through those and just have a quick chat with my future self or whoever wants to watch. One of my main goals is to record more videos, and this is one of them. So just adjust the camera. Let's see. All right, cool. So getting started, things I accomplished in 2019. Yeah, today is actually January 30th of 2020. So about a month has passed in 2020. And it's gotten off to a great start, but I just wanted to reflect on some things in 2019 and just, for my own, just to kind of see what I did and tell everyone about it. So for some of my 2019 accomplishments overall, I would say the biggest one that I probably achieved is I learned how to actually make money. And not in the sense of like working a job or something like that, but actually in the sense of like turning, cold leads into paying customers to buy things and buy products. And I think that now that I have this skill, I work my job, I guess I work in a business, Bridgecom Systems. That's my father's business. He started it quite a long time ago, 15 or so years ago, and I hopped into it almost 2 years ago. And in 2018, and since then it's really taken off, and I would say a lot of that's due to my efforts and then the skills that I bring to the table. It's really actually pretty eye-opening just how night and day difference is between now and the beginning of 2019, and just how much of a different person I am, and how much I've accomplished, I guess. Following that same thing, I've been learning how to make money. It's a complex process for sure, but I feel like, or I know that after the, I don't know, almost 2 years that I've been here, 2018 was definitely like just figuring it out, and then 2019 and definitely towards the end of it, we've been able to run a very sustainable, constantly profitable business that's just been scaling and scaling and scaling. There's some barriers like the 1 in 3 barriers, 100,000, 300,000, 1 million, 3 million, that kind of thing. We're just kind of busting through them with not much. There's definitely like scale and some growing pains, but we're just kind of plowing through them. Hiring people. I've learned just a ton about this. We'll go into that in a bit, but I feel really confident in my ability to just if I had to, I could hop in any business or start my own business, and I could run it profitably and attract customers from cold leads if I had to. And I think this is an invaluable skill to have, and I'm really confident to say that I now have it, and I could confidently say that. Next thing is, I think I've really leveled up in 2019 some I guess softer traits, and that would be willpower and discipline. And I've directed, I've been able to harness a lot of energy and direct it towards, productive activities. I would say that I'm a high performer, and I aspire to be one. I enjoy working. I enjoy, producing. I enjoy, making things, improving myself, that kind of stuff. And, definitely over the course of 2019, my ability to do that and not, get distracted or, do things that are like self-destructive, not necessarily self-destructive, but like distractions, and I wouldn't, they're not necessarily bad, but they're bad when you should have been doing something more productive, and instead you go and do like, something that's easier, like for example, like playing video games or like watching, YouTube videos that for entertainment or whatever, and or like, going and hanging out with your friends or something like that. And those are great things to do, but not when you know that you should be doing something else, or like when you've told yourself that you're going to do something and then you don't do it. So I feel like over the course of this year, and definitely right now, in 2020 for a month, I've been able to really, um, you know, force myself to do things that I like my lower self does not want to do. Productive things that my lower like lazy self does not want to do. And I'm really happy that I've been able to level up my character, as it were, and establish these traits. Going on, again, figured out how to operate the business profitably and sustainably. Probably actually, as a company, we'll probably take on some debt, I would assume, in order to buy inventory and things like that, and to grow the business faster. I built, me and my team have built a very strong marketing and sales machine that's just getting better and better every single day. And my team's really great, and I've been able to hire really good people. Me and my friend and my coworker have been able to discern people and hire really good quality people and filter out bad people for the most part. And that's we built a really quality team and continue to do that. I think overall I became a much better a salesperson, an actor in the sense of like making videos. I make a lot of the business. I'm the face of a lot of the business's videos in terms of the sales. Acting is a super important trait, especially in sales. And not just even sales, but just also like interacting with people, and not acting like it's a front, like it's a deception, but just like being able to, like if you're down on a day, if you're just like don't, you just wake up and you're just not really in a good mood. Being able to like display that positive energy and be an example for people to follow, even if you don't necessarily really want to deep down inside. Just the ability to do that. Also become a much better marketer, very effective marketer, and I've become I've been really introduced to the concept and just thrown in the fire of managing, which I'm totally for. Totally, I like it. It's not that difficult for me. I think I have inherent God-given personality traits that help me do a lot of this stuff. But I've just dove in head first, and I've become a decent manager. I think it's definitely a long ways to go. Not an expert or a master by any means in any of these aspects, but I'm definitely, I would say, halfway competent, and can do them very early in my life. Only 20 years, just barely 20 years old, but I feel like I've got a good grasp and can effectively implement these roles. One thing in my personal life, I've kept my personal spending, really low. I've been running, my life pretty lean, and for two reasons. One is because I just, for the most part, don't desire many material possessions and like buying stuff, and not like in a, foo-foo-y way, but just because it doesn't really, like, a lot of stuff just doesn't really make me happy, or like I don't really derive pleasure from a lot of things like you could buy. And then secondly, because I have the goals of investing my money and investing my money in probably real estate, so that my money can make me more money while I sleep. Passive income, obviously, my dream. And so I've been able to do that. Lived at the bottom of my means. Saved pretty much every, besides the basic necessities. I think I averaged, probably, I have to go look at it, but probably I spent $1,200 a month, with the exception of like I bought a couple courses and some various items and books and things. But been able to keep the and I definitely could have bought a car or spent my money on garbage or whatever, but I definitely I was able to resist that stuff and save pretty much all my money, and now I'm in a very good spot to make an investment play on real estate. Getting into the next point. So 2020, now that's kind of, and then also a couple other things is in 2019, some other cool things that I did. I went to a bunch of events. I was able to go to Funnel Hacker Live with ClickFunnels, Russell Brunson. I went to 10X Growth Con with, of course, Grant Cardone and lots of cool people there. Went to a Traffic and Conversion Summit by digital marketer, Ryan Dice, and everyone there. I've taken I went to Ezra Firestone's Digital Summit here in the fall, just before the holidays. Taken a bunch of his courses, Ezra Firestone in management, lots of Grant Cardone sales training. I think I did Jordan Belfort's Way of the Wolf sales training. Read a bunch of books, just countless books. lots of studying. That's one thing I want to get back into, because I've fallen off in the last couple months, but I want to get super back into studying and reading a lot more, because when I do read, I really enjoy it and I really derive a lot of value, but it's hard to get myself to do that, just because it feels like such a, I don't know, like it's not like boring, but it's just like not as stimulating, I guess. I listen to a lot of like podcasts and I watch a lot of videos, but I think reading is definitely very powerful. So that's some cool things that I did. Going into 2020, of course, it's January 30th, so a month has passed almost. Some successes already. We've had a stellar sales month in the company. Sales are like, January is typically like the worst month of the year in terms of sales, just because of the, we're in a consumer business. The holidays, Q4 is really good, and then there's typically a drop off as everyone's like broke and doesn't spend any money. This year, I've been able, me and the team have been able to generate so many new leads and crank up our marketing efforts so much that it's actually a phenomenal month. We're only at like currently we've made about 75% of the month sales revenue over the last December and then November, which are the top 2 months. They were almost equal in sales volume, which is phenomenal. It's typically like totally trash, and you maybe make like a quarter or like half or even worse. But this month it's just like nonstop juggernaut as we grow the company, and that's due in part to hiring a bunch of people. Like this time last year, we were at a team of 4. It was me, my dad, my friend and coworker Cody, and a technician. And now we have a team of, I believe, 10 people. So like a couple, we have another marketer, a dedicated video person, a dedicated customer service, more people on the back end of the business, and technicians and assemblers and customers, that kind of thing, as well as my mom is in accounting now and kind of, multifaceted role, as well as my father, running the company at a top level. So it's night and day of what's been accomplished. Another big personal success is I actually was just approved a couple days ago for my first mortgage, which is phenomenal. An FHA loan mortgage from Quicken Loans, actually, and it was actually super easy to do. I had actually been a few weeks, I think it's a few months ago, I think in December, I've been kind of looking for properties for the last couple months, going to showings and stuff like that, and I got a referral to a local lender and try to get a loan from them, for like, I want to buy a multi-family property, a duplex or a fourplex, so 2 to 4 units. And he actually wouldn't give me very much money. And he said that if, to get the amount that I wanted, I would have to get like a co-signer. And I was kind of disappointed at that, because I don't really want to have to include anybody if I don't have to. But then just recently I figured out, they don't care. They'll lend me the money. Which they should, rightfully, based on how much I make and how much capital I have on hand and my credit and debt ratio and stuff like that. And that was just really phenomenal. I'm actually applying for some other loans so I can hopefully get a bigger loan, and then I can afford a big, nice fourplex. My plan in 2020 is definitely to buy a property and house hack it. So live in one of the units and rent out the other units, which will, based on the numbers that I've ran, and I'm still learning about how to calculate the expenses and income that a property is going to generate, but it's basically a no-brainer. It's going to basically pay for itself. I'll live for free, and the additional revenue that it generates will probably pay for most of, if not all of, my basic living expenses. So that like $1,200 a month that I currently spend to run my life, like rent, food, gas, heat, that kind of thing, will basically be paid for by this one property optimally, and then I can save and invest virtually all of my earned income. And I guess I do understand why more people don't do this, and it really just boils down to instant gratification and the desire to like live a really good life now and not sacrificing anything. For me, it's not really. I live in a duplex right now, and to live in like a duplex or a fourplex is like, I don't really mind it. And it's going to be really nice to just have them pay for my whole life and build me hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity over the course of the investment. And that's much more attractive than trying to spend all my money on the house and be house rich and money poor. So that's one of the cool things that I'm going to do. Definitely going to buy a property this year. I don't know if I'm going to buy more properties after that yet. I don't know if I really want to become like a property manager or have a portfolio of my own investment properties right now. Definitely in the future, but I think I might look for a property management company or something like that. Not a property management, but like some kind of investment opportunity where other people run the deals and things like that, like a real estate conglomeration or something like that, just so it can be a hands-off return as opposed to me managing it, so I can focus all my energy on higher income producing activities like working and stuff like that. Another thing that I want to do, another goal, is to work out 5 days a week. Right now I'm trying to lean down. My goal, I'm currently at about, as of today, about 207 pounds. And I would like to get down to 182 pounds at 14% body fat. I'm like at 26% body fat right now, and I'm going to do that in probably 4 months is my goal. And so after that, I'll probably bulk up again, and get more muscle. But that's my goal right now. I spent the last year doing CrossFit, and I just wasn't really, I didn't really do it super consistently. And I just didn't have very many solid goals, and I just wasn't, the coach there, and just wasn't for me. And I, quit that this year actually, and then got a gym membership, and this is working out really great. My other goals is to post 2 videos a week minimum. I want to grow my YouTube channel, for my own personal benefit, of course, but also because I really honestly believe that I have a lot of value in my mind that I can share with others. The things that I figured out and the synthesized information from all the sources that I pull from, and I can really add a lot of value to a lot of people's lives. And then the other thing is get back into studying books specifically. I'd like to read at least 1 book every 2 weeks. I think the next book that I'll start with is probably Reality Transurfing by, I believe, Vadim Zeland. And I've been meaning to read that for like a year, and I've heard it's really transformational. But I did start reading it like last year, and then I quit because it was just really boring in the first chapter. But I'm going to power through because I've heard it's like a super powerful book. So yeah, that's most of the things going on right now. Really focused on growing my income, growing my skills. Other things like, I guess chasing girls or other things like that, I've kind of just put on the back burner, and they're just going to come as I build myself up to a better man. And that stuff will just kind of come naturally, I would assume. And we'll see what happens. So until the next update, look for more. If you resonated with me, or can really resonate with my message, hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe for more. I'm going to be releasing a lot of content, as I said, a lot of value-based content, how-tos, very specific stuff in my niche and just things that I'm learning, and it's really going to help a lot of people. So go ahead and subscribe for that, and I look forward to seeing you in the next update. This is Daniel. See you in the next chapter.